What's up, everyone? Just me giving you guys some updates around the rescue today. Of course, we got an update on this monster pond and these rays, as well as a few other guys around the rescue. So, you know, the ultimate question, you're always asking, when are these rays going home? Well, the answer is soon. Rod and Kevin are both moved from their previous facility. They are now both in New York. So the time is short-lived now. So all these rays will be going home. But in the meantime, we're still having troubles with them. I keep having to remove them and move them to different tanks around here because of the aggressive breeding behavior on a lot of these males. You know, these guys were wild caught or kept in basically a solitary confinement, and they weren't used to being in a community, so the rays didn't know how to play nice. You know, when they first came in, you know, they killed one of my favorite catfish, so that stopped us from putting them in with a lot of our personal fish. They were then bumped out to the monster pond. So you know what, it's glad to see some of this coming towards an end. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I like to give you guys updates on some of the injured fish, like this shovel nose. I know you guys seen him a couple videos ago, but he's looking even better now. Both of the arowanas are getting along out here. That's the big guy, and there goes the small guy that was recently added in, and he's doing pretty well. But you know, once these rays leave, this pond's going to look pretty empty, which some of you guys have talked about and noticed. And yeah, that might be true, but it would then be back to, you know, our personal stock, and nothing in here gets rehomed at that point. So it'll definitely take a bio load off of us. Our filtration wouldn't have to work as hard, and the fish get a little bit more room, and who knows, with the addition of that, might be able to bump a few more guys out. But you can see we got a bunch more rays in this 3,000. They're healing back up. You know, their wounds are getting better. They're starting to stack some weight back on. It's so hard to deal with some of these rays. They're overbreeding these females too much. Like just last week, that wound right there was all red and open. Now it's starting to heal back up. And the same thing with a lot of these. You can see on the outside of her disc, these were all open wounds, and they were looking very, very bad. So you know what, we're just doing our best here, you know, trying to separate the ones that get the worst of it. And for now, we're doing pretty good. One more update. These guys over here, we've got more rays that are getting too big for this tank, so we're going to move them out of this tank shortly and move them over into the ray community. But you can see this arapaima is stacking on some weight. He's definitely getting girthy. He's put on a little bit on the length side, and look at that tail. Look at the amount of red that's coming in on him. It's just absolutely amazing. He's hasn't even broken the 2-foot mark, and you can just see that vibrant red on his tail. He's going to be, or she is going to be, a very attractive arapaima. This guy comes up and just hammers the food. See, he's walking with me. He's like, "You got food, Dad?" "Yes, I do. I'll feed you after a while." But you know what? I noticed something. This guy here, he's been on a super growth spurt. See how fat that catfish is? This is the parapaima. This is the cappapritum. So these guys get about 5 foot long. But man, does he have some attitude. Right now, he's kind of the tank boss in here. If he wants food, he shoves everyone out the way. Let's go ahead and get along the side up. That's a unclean window there, I'm sorry. See if he turns around, try and get him move with his magnet. Look how long that streamer is too. Oh my goodness. You normally don't see paraimas with streamers that long, but he manages to keep it in here. Same thing with that tigrinus. That's why we don't have no fish in here. That would nip them off. Surprisingly, the Paraíba and the Tigrinus, they get along great. They just stay to different sides of the tank. But this guy will go from side to side. Look at him, he just looks like a shark or a torpedo. Definitely an awesome catfish. I'm very happy with his growth rate because we had him for so long and he just was not growing, and now he's just growing so quick. So some of your fish will do that. They won't grow for the longest time, and then one day he'll come out and you're like, holy cow, he's grown so much. You just look at that evil look on his face. He can definitely do some damage. But like I said, we're going to be taking probably 3 or so of these rays in just a short period of time, and they can come over here and join these guys once again. We already moved some other ones in here as well. So there is one of these that will be leaving. That one is Kevin's right there, the one that's below. And look at this guy. So I don't know if you guys follow our TikTok or not, but I gave a little fact on the arapaima here. You guys can see how much of that golden sheen that he has. Well, that's because of the light base in this pond. It's actually a part of the white tank treatment. You stick an arapaima in a light tank or a white tank, and they're going to get this gold sheen. And overseas, they're sold as gold arapaima, and a lot of people buy them and get screwed over. But you know what? They take them, stick them in a normal tank, and they turn back to that normal dark green color. But this guy is a beauty, and he's packing on the weight too, or she. So she's definitely over that 3-foot mark. I haven't gotten a tape on her in a long time, but I'm curious to do that in just a little bit. I can actually measure the length of this sump right here, and I can see the arapaima next to the sump and be able to get a true measurement on him that way, because a lot of times I'll come out and he's laying right here, or she. I keep, mixing that up. But I just thought that was a cool little update for you guys. And we're over here in the 750. A lot of you guys had doubts of me sticking this flathead catfish into our community tank, and I haven't had no problems out of him whatsoever. You guys can look at the lungfish. I told you this guy was chewed up. Now he's healing up. His wounds are closed up. They're actually got skin back over. The scales are coming back, and his tail's growing back in. That was from those eclipse cats. The clown knives seem to be all getting along. We've got the royal over here in the corner. He's actually the one that eats the least of them. Got this cool goby over here. That vulture cat right there, I thought we were going to have some problems with, and everyone seems to be living super peaceful. The flathead seems to chill in that back corner. That's his domain, and everyone else just chills on the other outskirts of the tank. The lungfish sort of leave each other alone. There might be a few times when this one and that one right there might lock lips, but that's only during feeding time, because if you guys know, lungfish are virtually blind. You can see how tiny their eyeballs are, so they can't see all too well. But we're talking about lungfish. So look at this guy over here, Lone Star. He's getting so big. There goes my hand next to him. So I'd say he's between 10 and 12 inches long. He is due for a tank upgrade, so I'm going to be working on that in the next few days. And Mr. Lone Star can go to a new, bigger tank to where he can do lots more growing. And of course, with all the good news, there's always some bad news. Well, there's water on the floor coming from the 3000. No, it's not leaking, guys, but all the time something gets stuck in here, which we have this grate on, so it's always debris that can get sucked through the filter. It attaches to the inside of the line. Right here we go from a 1-inch down to this 1/2-inch line, not 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch line, over to this hose barb. And right through here is where the stuff gets clogged. It cakes up on the inside of this pipe. Sometimes this lodges loose and then gets trapped right here to where it's not letting water go through the overflow. So I've been meaning to actually fix this for quite some time. What I want to do, is just go ahead and run the 1-inch line all the way through to the overflow, so this stops happening and we don't get this tank overflowing on us. Because you can see on this end, it's actually up and touching there. So what it was doing was this top lip, it's basically touching on the inside right here, and the water was getting out and going down, rolling down the front face of this corner, pulling out here, and then coming out here and getting the carpets wet. I knew that was the problem as soon as I looked in here and seen that side of the tank touching. I'm like, oh, the 3000 has a little bit too much water in it. So I went ahead and got that fixed. It is now running once again. As you can see, here goes coming from the goldfish tank, sturgeon tank. This is coming through the 3000. So that'll catch up to itself in no time. But you know what? There's always things like this happening around here. Always have to do little checks to make sure everything is running properly. And yeah, just like today, I found out that the FX5 on the sturgeon tank stopped running, so I got that thing back running, and now she's circulating on there. And that's why I'm pumping this water through straight from, I'm doing a fresh water change on her to get some of that bad water out of there, because as soon as that pump kicked out a lot of muddy, nasty water. So yeah, looking like this girl right here is playing in the bubbles. See, I always keep an eye on that, because you know, a ray at the top of the water can mean one of two things. Either A, she's stressing, or B, she's playing. Right now it looks like she's just playing in the current. But if you keep an eye on that and say she's out here in the middle of the tank and she's floating, that means she is stressing and need to get her out of there. All right, catastrophe averted. Everything's getting back to normal around here. You know, with having this many aquariums and so many systems, you know, it's easy to look past some things sometimes, to where I always try and keep everything on a fine-tuned schedule to where nothing gets missed. But you know what? Sometimes you always overlook something. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you in the next one. Stay fishy, my friends.